So, J. Ruud, what lovable book are we talking about today?
Well, Stacey Margaret Jones, I'll give you a hint. Waterloo.
Have I read this book?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll need more clues.
All right.
Welcome to Between the Covers, the weekly podcast where author J. Ruud makes a case for one of the entries on his list of the 100 most lovable novels in the English language each week. And I, author Stacey Margaret Jones, and his wife, talk to him about those choices.
You sound like that's two people.
And each week he gives me hints about the book we're going to be talking about. Although hint might be a generous term, since he devises his hints so that I can't know it. And then probably our listener is like, it's obviously this book,
Well,
which I
especially
don't
since
know.
when it comes out, the title will be on the podcast.
Oh, right.
So
yeah, the listener has the advantage. Okay, our listener. All right, so you don't think I've read the book, and the hint is Waterloo. I need another hint, please.
Hint number 2, a novel without a hero.
Is it, no, it's not All Quiet on the Western Front.
No.
Okay, good. That's right. No books in translation. Okay, I guess my third hint.
Your third hint is Becky Sharp.
Becky Sharp?
Becky Sharp.
I don't know.
All right. This is Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray.
I should have known that because I haven't read it, but I know the name Becky Sharp. I mean, I know that's a Vanity Fair name, but my mental archivist didn't have long enough to run into the files and get back. All right. So Vanity Fair. Okay.
Vanity Fair.
So before we get into the usual questions, this is a semi-usual question. When was this published?
Actually, it was first published in Punch magazine in 19 different installments.
I was going to say, that had to be quite a serialization, or the magazine was very thick.
19 installments from 1847 to 1848, and then it came out in book form in 1848.
Oh, that's later than I thought. And how long is the book?
Depends on the edition you get, but generally you can count on between 700 and 800 pages.
So it's a doorstop. It's a commitment.
It's a commitment.
All right.
Although it really goes fast when you start reading it.
Who wrote it again?
William Makepeace Thackeray.
Okay, that's
who
what I
was, in his own time, the only Victorian novelist that you could seriously put in the same breath as Dickens. They both had a string of highly admired novels, and they were well-known public figures on a lecture circuit, and they each grudgingly admired the other's work in print.
I love how you say grudgingly, because writers are competitive. And even if you're incredibly successful, I mean, I hear I'm not incredibly successful. You are always, I think, looking at who else is doing what.
Yeah.
So,
but the posthumous history of the two rivals has been quite different. I mean, you say Dickens, there's still, a dozen novels that people think of when they think of Dickens, and, as great novels.
Right.
David Copperfield, Great Expectations, Bleak House.
We were just in A Christmas Carol. Some people read, obviously, that has permeated, I think, Western Christmas. It's just part of the celebration.
Oh, yeah. Dombey and Son, which not enough people read. It's a great novel. Tale of Two Cities. But
and I just had to re-ask you who wrote Vanity Fair, and you had just told me.
Exactly. And can you tell me?
Bless his heart.
One other novel that
by Thackeray?
Thackeray wrote.
No.
I think you are in the vast majority there. I think most people would be very pressed to come up with another Thackeray novel, unless you might say Barry Lyndon, because people might remember the 1975 movie that Stanley Kubrick made.
I knew that was Stanley Kubrick. I will say, though, that as an English major, just the way my classes played out, this is kind of the era I missed. So that's why, even though I'm an English major, I'm not very familiar with Victorian literature. And where I have gotten familiar with it, I've done a lot of just my own reading because I just kind of skipped it.
So yeah, there are a number of other decent Thackeray novels, but they just don't get read. Pendennis, Men's Wives, The History of Henry Esmond.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard of anything.
I know.
Bless his heart.
And you haven't heard this one either, but I really would like to read it myself.
Oh.
He wrote a novel called Rebecca and Rowena in 1850. It was a parody sequel to Ivanhoe.
Oh, that does sound fun.
Yeah, which we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, and Rebecca and Rowena are the two heroines.
I feel like I have heard of that because when you asked me to name another Thackeray novel, I was like, is there one with two names in it, blank and blank? So that must be the only one that
It's really not very well known.
I know, but who knows what random things we know. Interesting. All right. Well, let's.
But I guess today, if you were to say who's the one Victorian novelist that you can mention in the same breath as Dickens, it would probably be George Eliot.
Right. I was going to say.
And Trollope is getting more and more popular, I guess.
Well, and Alcott.
Yeah, but she's an American.
American,
author,
but
not really Victorian.
No.
I mean, I guess she wrote. Okay.
Later Victorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess she wrote in that period.
Yeah.
She's a Merkin. We can't tell her.
Well, I mean, I do. But anyway, she was writing in the Victorian era.
Yeah, that's true.
She was writing in English in the Victorian era. So there you go.
True.
All right. But this scintillating debate, let's bring to a halt and go into who else loves Vanity Fair.
Well, for one, I can name Charlotte Bronte.
Oh.
Who dedicated her novel, Jane Eyre, to the author of Vanity Fair.
Oh, yeah. That seems, yeah.
But also...
That's on brand.
It's considered by The Observer as one of the 100 greatest world novels, by The Guardian as one of the 100 greatest novels in English, by the Sunday Times as one of their 100 books to love. It ranked as number 41 in the Daily Telegraph's list of the top 50 books. On Penguin Classics list of the 100 must-read classics chosen by their readers, it came in as number 39. On the BBC's list of the 100 greatest British novels chosen by book critics outside the UK, it ranked as number 10. The OCLC ranked it as number 75 on their list of the most commonly held books on world library shelves. And on the Daily Mail's list of 100 novels to change your life.
Oh, wow.
Vanity Fair ranked as number 1.
Well, and the Daily Mail is a British publication. And
it is indeed.
They're picking one of their British own, but that's great. Okay, so can you earn the harps of glory, or will you go down in defeat to the trombones of despair with your down and dirty summary of this very long novel?
Yes, I can win the harps of glory. This is a novel set during the Napoleonic Wars of the early 19th century. It follows the intertwined lives of two very different women, the wealthy and good-hearted Amelia Sedley, and the poor but ambitious and conniving adventuress Becky Sharp.
She's got to be conniving. She's poor in the Victorian England.
Exactly. And it depicts the rise and fall of one, paralleling the fall and rise of the other.
Right.
And their friends and families, the men they marry and those that they would like to, all spend time on stage in this long and often delightful narrative.
Well, Harps of Glory. And also, I feel like now I want to read it.
Good.
Awesome. We share a brain, so I ask Jay questions about why I think things. Why do I conflate this with Bonfire of the Vanities? I mean, obvious, the word vanity. But is the Bonfire of the Vanities in conversation with Vanity Fair, or is it just that word that he's using as the title?
I think it's just the word.
Okay, it's not a
offhand see any
response.
Parallels.
Have you read that?
Yeah, quite a while ago.
Okay, all right. So There's no reason except the word.
As far as
Probably. Okay. All right, moving on. So this sounds very appealing to me. And since you mentioned George Eliot, who, I love Middlemarch, love that book. So why do you find this book lovable?
Oh.
It's like you didn't know I was going to ask you that question.
She threw me a curveball. It's mainly the characters are, if it weren't such a strange thing to say, I'd say they were kind of Dickensian characters.
Man, that is a real slap in the face. Poor Thackeray. He's like, oh my God, I can't get ahead.
I mean, they're humorous kind of sketches of different kinds of people who might be around in this society. Vanity Fair, of course, the title comes from The Pilgrim's Progress.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which may be what brought Little Women into your mind.
No, it's not.
Well, never mind.
Little Women came into my mind because she was a writer in English language during the Victorian era. Sheesh. Don't give me too much credit.
Okay.
Give me less credit, then you'll be right.
Okay, Vanity Fair comes from Pilgrim's Progress. Because in the Pilgrim's Progress, Vanity Fair is a fair in the town of Vanity that's created by the devils Apollyon and Beelzebub. And in Pilgrim's Progress, Vanity Fair represents the vanities of the world, the things that entice us and flatter our pride, but that in the end only distract from the true path toward salvation.
Right.
And in Thackeray's novel, Vanity Fair is British society. And the things that are important but ultimately empty and meaningless. Who's in, who's out, and who cares?
Well, I think there's a lot then to make fun of in Victorian society because they were very focused on, a lot of surface.
Yeah.
Like they were focused on kind of surface behaviors that they thought indicated, an internal goodness or evil or whatever. And there were a lot of constraints to how one was allowed to behave, right?
Yeah.
That's my perception.
Yeah. That's what the term kind of relates to here. The original subtitle of the novel was Pen and Pencil Sketches in English Society.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
it was Vanity Fair, Pen and Pencil Sketches.
And that's how it was serialized too, I suppose.
Probably.
I mean, it would have been, if it's shorter kind of vignettes, that's easier to serialize, right?
Yeah.
Is the novel episodic to read?
No.
Oh, okay.
It basically goes back and forth between Amelia
and Becky.
But Thackeray changed the subtitle. He called it the Sketches at first because he also kind of was an aspiring artist, and he included a bunch of sketches, actual sketches.
Oh, fun.
In the novel, but then nobody cares much about them because he wasn't that good an artist.
He needed to lead with his strengths.
Yeah. So he changed the subtitle to A Novel Without a Hero.
Oh, okay.
When he calls it that, he's playing with a very popular notion in the 1840s when it was written. In 1841, Thomas Carlyle had published an extremely influential book called On Heroes, Hero Worship, and the Heroic in History. And he talks about different kinds of heroes who were the great men of their time and have kind of affected the evolution of human history. And Carlyle's ideas influenced a number of significant thinkers, including Emerson, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, George Bernard Shaw. Even Dickens, at the beginning of David Copperfield, writes, "Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life, or whether that station will be held by anybody else, these pages must show." And actually, David Copperfield becomes, by the end, a hero in one of Carlyle's senses, the hero as a man of letters. But Thackeray eschews the idea of a hero, at least in the Vanity Fair of British society. Becky Sharp is one of the most remarkable female protagonists in all of literature, not just English, I think.
Gosh, I need to read it.
But she's certainly no hero.
Is she an anti-hero?
I guess she's an anti-hero in being a protagonist who's not a hero. There's really nothing admirable about her. Mm-hmm. She's a poor girl who's trying to move up in society. First, she tries to entice her friend Amelia's big brother, Joseph or Jos Sedley. He's a very big brother. I mean, he's a big guy who happens to be a kind of self-important nabob in India, in the British East India Company.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work out. And then she gets a position as a governess with a nobleman, Sir Pitt Crawley. And she's kind of trying to get into his graces. And finally, he actually does ask her to marry him. But it turns out, and this is the first big surprise in the novel.
Wait, should you spoil it?
Yeah, it's pretty early in the novel.
All right, okay. Because I do think I want to read it, so don't spoil too much. But go ahead.
Turns out she has actually already married his son in secret.
Whoops.
And because she figured, and the son figured, Mr. Captain Rawdon Crawley, he's a gambler and he's a spendthrift who has more debts than money.
The son?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he thinks that his aunt, who loves him more than any of her other nieces or nephews, he thinks that she's going to give him his money when she dies. As it turns out, she disinherits him when he marries Becky. So that wasn't such a good idea after all. They never get a penny from her.
Is Becky, you said her friend Amelia, is that the Amelia that...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
Amelia,
they're friends.
The novel begins with them leaving their school where they were friends together. And everybody is really sad to see Amelia go because she was best friends with every single girl in the class. And the teachers loved her. Mm-hmm. And everybody hated Becky. And she knew it, and she didn't care. Samuel Johnson apparently had once visited this school and had met the headmistress, and she, because of that, kind of worships him. And so she gives every student who departs a copy of Johnson's dictionary. And she gives that to Amelia, but she doesn't want to give one to Becky. But her sister, who helps her run the place, thinks that's just not nice. And so she secretly gives Becky a copy of Johnson's dictionary. And as they're driving off in the coach, Becky throws it out the window. That's kind of the first you see of Becky.
This is what I think of you. Well, it kind of reminds me, I mean, it's obviously not. It reminds me a little bit of Thomas Hardy's The Ruined Maid, because you have these two women talking in Victorian England from different stations, right? They're not. It's not like one has clothes and stuff because she's being kept, right? Yeah. And the other admires the clothes because she's so poor and she works on a farm, right? And they knew each other when they both were farm workers. And the ruined maid is like, look, it's not all it's cut out to be. I got no status in society, but I do have some pretty dresses. But they're both operating within these really patriarchal constraints, right?
Yeah.
And, there's no way really for them to take care of themselves, right?
Yeah.
Within a system like that.
Yeah. So Becky finds ways to ingratiate herself in society. Mm-hmm. Being married to somebody who has no money, but it has at least some rank.
Right. That's a big deal in British society.
It is a big deal.
They do love a title.
She has a child whom she essentially ignores his entire life, much to his father's chagrin. And she engages in a questionable relationship with a nobleman named Lord Steyne.
Wow. What a name. I wonder, is he a good guy? Well, you did say it's satirical, so it's like satirical. You can kind of have a little fun and flourish with the naming, right?
Oh, you certainly can. And that when her husband becomes kind of aware of what's going on there, ready to disown her. Narrator has a lot of interesting things to say. The narrator is a character in his own right. He actually reminds you of the narrator in Fielding and Tom Jones, because he's kind of omniscient. He has things to say, and his narration is full of comments on stuff that's happening. But he actually meets some of the characters late in the novel.
Yeah.
He talks about, this is how I met them.
That's fun.
And so you sort of, he brings himself into the novel. But anyway, here's an interesting comment that he makes, sort of summing up Becky at one point.
When one fib becomes due, as it were, you must forge another to take up the old acceptance. And so the stock of your lies in circulation inevitably multiplies, and the danger of detection increases every day. Oh, that's delightful writing.
It is. I mean, and the whole thing is like that. Now, Amelia, or Emmy, her father's wealthy, and she's engaged to Captain George Osborne. And their two families have been close since her childhood. And George and Amelia have been kind of promised to each other from the time they were children. So it's been sort of expected that they were going to get married. But then Amelia's father loses all of his money. The news that Napoleon has escaped from Elba sends the stocks tumbling, and Amelia's father has invested in things based on knowing that Napoleon was gone.
Right.
And he's talked to many of his friends to invest in the same things, including George's father, who never forgives him. And won't have anything to do with them, and doesn't want George to marry Amelia anymore.
Right.
George's father cancels the engagement, and the narrator has something to say about the vicissitudes of fortune when that happens to Amelia's father.
The hidden and awful wisdom which apportions the destinies of mankind is pleased so to humiliate, and cast down the tender, good, and wise, and to set up the selfish, the foolish, or the wicked. Oh, be humble, my brother, in your prosperity. Be gentle with those who are less lucky, if not more deserving. Think, what right have you to be scornful, whose virtue is a deficiency of temptation, whose success may be a chance, whose rank may be an ancestor's accident, whose prosperity is very likely a satire. Oh, my God.
I know.
That is wonderful. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I guess people are just always the same.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
your prosperity is a satire.
Yeah.
I can think of some people. Some people are coming into mind right now.
And George is quite willing to abandon Amelia because George really didn't have that much affection for her. I mean, she was okay, but he's enticed by other women.
Yeah.
In fact, he was about to have an affair with Becky.
I knew you were going to say that.
He even sends her these flowers the day before the Battle of Waterloo.
Oh, okay.
And George has a friend that he's had since school named William Dobbin, Captain Dobbin, and he was in his own regiment. And Dobbin tells him, you know, you promised yourself to marry this woman. Just because she's had some bad luck does not mean that you should forsake her. You are all she has. And he convinces George to keep his engagement.
Oh, okay.
Even though he's ready to have an affair with Becky. And the thing is, Dobbin is in love with Amelia. He absolutely adores her. He's willing to sacrifice himself because he knows how much she loves George, and he wants her to be happy.
And he doesn't want her forsaken.
No.
Aww.
So basically halfway through the book, we get the Battle of Waterloo. Mm-hmm. Thackeray doesn't put any of that into the novel. I mean, he doesn't bring you out to the battlefield.
No,
he talks about what's happening in Brussels and reactions by the people who are... And Joss, Amelia's brother, who happens to be in Brussels at the time, is trying his best to get the heck out of there because the rumor is that the French have already, defeated the British, and who knows what they're going to do to the people in Brussels. So he's trying to get out. He's hugely overcharged for some horses that he wants. Mm-hmm. Because you can't find a horse in Brussels. Everybody is leaving.
Right.
And it's Becky who happens to have a couple of horses, and she really
Gouges him.
gouges him for that.
Well, Becky's gonna Becky.
She's Becky. So right about the halfway point of the novel, the battle takes place, and here's what we learn.
No more firing was heard at Brussels. The pursuit rolled miles away. The darkness came down on the field and city, and Amelia was praying for George, who was lying on his face, dead, with a bullet through his heart.
Yep.
So I can't remember. Did they marry, had you said?
Yes, they actually had married.
Okay.
Like the day before.
So she's a widow.
So she is a widow, and she's pregnant.
Of course.
And she spends the next 10 years mourning her husband, who she thought was completely faithful to her and loved her, because that's what Captain Dobbin told her.
Because that's...
And kept assuring her.
Well, he wanted her to be happy.
And her father-in-law, who had wanted the engagement called off, will not give her any money that had belonged to George.
But she has the heir, right?
She will, and he won't give her a penny to raise the child. But to her rescue, Captain Dobbin comes with a whole pile of money that he has gotten from people in the regiment, he says. They've all contributed to help support her and the child, except it all came from him.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm wondering, do you think Margaret Mitchell read this book?
Oh, I'm sure.
Because, boy, got some Becky Sharp and Scarlett O'Hara.
I think there may well be some connection there, yeah.
And, Scarlett marries different men and, because of her economic situations and, she's aristocracy, so to speak, but it doesn't come... The money ends, right? The war is in the middle of it's really interesting. Yeah. I hadn't thought of it since I haven't read that book. But the way you're talking about it, that's a novel that's coming to mind.
Yeah, there seems to be a relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
So Becky Sharp is no hero. Amelia is really no hero. I mean, she's kind of foolishly romantic, doesn't see what's in front of her face, and devotes herself to somebody.
That seems harsh.
It
feels harsh.
I'm just
she's not bad.
I'm not saying she's bad. I'm saying she's not heroic.
No.
And even, the one person in the book that you could say might be heroic is Dobbin. But in a way, he carries himself so far in her service that he becomes kind of just a whipping boy for her.
Yeah.
He'll do anything she says, and she pays him no attention. So he ends up kind of a joke in a way.
Isn't that... Gosh, it's a quote in a movie. I'll have to look it up. It's like, you don't respect someone who is always kissing your ass.
Ferris Bueller.
Yes. I think you're right. You're right. I knew it was like one of those 80s
he says that about his
movies.
About Cameron.
Cameron. Yeah. Sorry, Cameron. I like you. It's rough. It's one of those, he loves her, she loves someone else, that person doesn't love her, loves someone else,
Yeah, so you can't pick out a hero, I don't think. And he wants to make that clear, I guess.
Right.
But there are characters who do kind of noble things occasionally. Certainly Dobbin does. But at the end of the novel, Becky Sharp surprises the reader and everybody else.
Don't ruin it for me.
I'm not going to. with a big surprise.
Okay.
A real twist.
But it's earned, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I'll know to look for the breadcrumbs.
So anyway, the characters are all characters that make you smile or laugh in some cases, or cry. It's too bad George got killed, but he's certainly no hero either. He defends his country and dies doing it, but he dies when he's just about to betray his wife that he's just married.
Yeah, he's selfish and kind of greasy, and he's a gambler. He's not careful with the money that he didn't earn.
he would not have done anything decent
Yeah.
if his friend hadn't been urging him on.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting. But if there's no heroes, why is the novel lovable?
Because it's funny, because it points at all these foibles that people have.
Well, and it sounds like this is kind of what it's like to be around people.
Yeah.
And to know people well is to kind of know maybe they're not as great as, we think they are, right? Like everybody has flaws. Everybody has areas of selfishness and, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard-heartedness, so to speak. And none of us are heroic all the time.
And nobody in this book is heroic all the
Right.
time. The other thing that I really love about this novel is the narrator. Because like the Fielding-esque narrator, he's got this witty, ironic voice that'll break off and address the reader sometimes.
I love that idea. That's where you can really imagine that the writer is having fun writing,
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do this. Like, I want to talk like this. Like, I want to talk to the reader. I want to bust out of the constraint of the omniscient non-person narrator, right? Like, somebody is telling the story, and I'm going to give that narrator a persona.
Yeah. And then coming later, suddenly the narrator says, "Oh, and I met Becky."
Oh, I love it.
So, okay, I guess.
I love it.
Also, the narrator kind of changes his tone slightly, I think, after Waterloo.
Yeah.
But in the first half of the novel, he's more just poking fun at gullibility and things like that, and pretentiousness. Like this quote comes earlier in the novel.
A woman may possess the wisdom and chastity of Minerva, and we give no heed to her, if she has a plain face. What folly will not a pair of bright eyes make pardonable? What dullness may not red lips or sweet accents render pleasant? And so, with their usual sense of justice, ladies argue that because a woman is handsome, therefore she is a fool. Oh, ladies, there are some of you who are neither handsome nor wise. We were just talking about that today when I was saying that I thought people, that I won't say the people we were talking about, but that people were meaner to one woman than her counterpart. And I thought part of it was that the woman they were meaner to just wasn't as attractive.
Yeah. Well, later in the novel, as things get a little darker, I guess you could say that the narrator focuses more on vice than on folly. And here's an interesting quotation from later in the novel where things are not so funny.
Though Miss Rebecca Sharp has twice had occasion to thank heaven, it has been, in the first place, for ridding her of some person whom she hated, and secondly, for enabling her to bring her enemies to some sort of perplexity or confusion, neither of which are very amiable motives for religious gratitude.
But there Becky is kind of put in a vicious light rather than a foolish one. But actually, it's been kind of hinted at here and there. But toward the end of the novel, the narrator depicts himself as the presenter of an entertainment, a puppet show at a fair, at Vanity Fair, maybe.
Okay.
And he says, it's time. He says, "Come, children, let us shut up the box and the puppets, for our play is played out." And then he comments a little bit about how he has told the story. And you actually begin to wonder about the veracity of his telling of the story. How much is he making up?
Right.
So is he even heroic?
Well, what I was going to say was, if your narrator has a persona, then your narrator has an agenda.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, how reliable is the narrator?
Yeah, I think that's what you do here.
Interesting.
But here's the last quote I'd like to give you, in which, toward the very end of the novel, he's describing Becky, who's the apparent villain in the novel.
Okay. In describing this siren, singing and smiling, coaxing and cajoling, the author, with modest pride. Ask his readers all around, has he once forgotten the laws of politeness and showed the monster's hideous tail above water? No. Those who like may peep down under waves that are pretty transparent and see it writhing and twirling, diabolically hideous and slimy, flapping amongst bones or curling round corpses. But above the waterline, I ask, has not everything been proper, agreeable, and decorous? Boy, is that Victorian England.
Yes, I have not been impolite by actually showing you the complete truth of who Becky Sharp is. Yeah, I've covered up a few things.
Well, that's that scene in the movie Blue Velvet where he shows this kind of, idyllic neighborhood, and then the camera goes down into the dirt and you see all the insects and worms scuttling about and like mawing each other. And it's like, this isn't nice.
Sounds like it's come right out of this novel,
yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, because he goes below ground instead of below the waves. And it's his way, I think, obviously, of foreshadowing what the movie is, which is we're going to see the ugly underbelly of a community that looks like it's perfect and beautiful.
Well, as you might suspect, the plot of the book is interesting in itself.
Yeah.
Even if nothing else were going on, you'd be interested in what happens in the plot. And that's made it kind of very film-worthy.
Sure.
There were 4 silent film versions that were made between 1911 and 1923.
Geez.
And then 2 more were made in the 30s, with Myrna Loy starring as Becky in the 1932 version.
Interesting.
And then 72 years later, in 2004, the Indian director Mira Nair shot a new version starring Reese Witherspoon.
I knew there was a Reese
as
Witherspoon.
Becky Sharp.
I knew that Reese Witherspoon. When you said Becky Sharp, I was like, why am I thinking of Reese Witherspoon?
Maybe you've seen the movie.
I have. I know I have.
Okay, then. Reese.
I was with you by then, and I would not have missed a Reese Witherspoon movie because you wouldn't have missed a Reese Witherspoon movie. You heart her.
Reese Evans is William Dobbins in the movie. And Gabriel Byrne is the Marquis of Steyne.
I love that name so much.
The thing is, the novel's so complicated and
it's hard to movie.
Yeah, to make it into a movie, 2 hours or whatever, it's going to
they should redo it as a mini series on like streaming or something.
Well,
it sounds like it'd be.
Let me tell you. There have been 2 television miniseries. One from 1998.
Oh, okay.
With 6 episodes, and one from 2018.
Oh, I was going to say.
With 7 episodes,
Oh,
and the
okay.
2018 version starred Michael Palin from Monty Python.
Oh, I know who he is.
As William Makepeace Thackeray. So
I was going to say, like, what part was he?
He plays
Not
the
George.
narrator.
Yeah, that's
So
brilliant.
the narrator, I mean, that series, they realize the narrator is a character.
And has a part to play.
Has a part to play. And does the commentary.
Fascinating.
So there.
Awesome.
That's all that is why
All right.
it is lovable.
Well, why might somebody not like Vanity Fair?
It's long.
It's long.
And they might not like that. I mean, it might kind of bog people down if they're not used to reading a longer book. It has no hero. You will find yourself rooting for
Amelia.
Amelia.
Just because she's nicer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so frustrating that she keeps talking about how great George was.
Well.
When he was not anything like that.
Right.
And, you get a little frustrated with Dobbin, too, who won't say to her, look, I gave you this money.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He's a POS.
I have loved you forever.
Yeah.
He was trying to cheat on you when 2 days after you were married. Why don't you marry me?
Yeah.
And, then you can, anyway. So there's a lot of frustrating things. There's nobody to really root for that
Yeah.
you don't get frustrated about.
But it sounds like, too, if you're frustrated, it's because you're invested. And that is usually something that is enjoyable to read on some level, even if you're frustrated with the characters.
Yeah.
Because you're in it, right?
Yeah.
You're interested in it.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't make me not like the
Right, right. But you're right. I'm asking you that question. So where do you rank this book, sir?
I have decided, after much debate in my mind, to put this at number 25.
Ooh, okay, pretty high up.
Right after Bleak House.
So if you're reading the list, you can just go from long book to long. You'll be used to having long books in your life. You can just go to another one.
And that actually is right ahead of A Prayer for Owen Meany.
Oh, those are interesting kind of ideas there. We're talking them. Could be an interesting thought experiment to read those and talk about how they might correspond with each other in some ways.
Oh, there you go.
They're both epics.
Yeah, all three of them are epics.
Yeah, all three of them are epics. Awesome. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, okay. Well, then, perhaps it might be time for Chaos Read.
All right, sound effects, man. All right, so I have finally started the book I said I was picking up a couple episodes ago. Gerald R. Ford, An Honorable Life, by James Cannon, and I really like it already. I'm only on chapter 3, page 20. But the writing is really good, and it starts with basically the kind of, pivotal moment of his life when he finds out he's going to become president. And the author, the biographer, is already foreshadowing that Ford was very principled and, honest person and good faith actor. And it's really interesting because he and Nixon were really good friends. Talking about being frustrated, it probably was very painful for him to find out what his good friend had been doing, because I don't feel, based on 20 pages I've read, that would have been okay with Ford.
Yeah, Ford's. You look at all the presidents, and the one I think Ford's most like is probably Truman.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say Truman, because I think they were both like regular people who had an interest.
Have huge ambition to become president, and
no, but they did have an interest in public policy for what they believed to be, good, and that they wanted to be involved in it and apparently he wasn't even that happy to be vice president because he really liked being in the House. Yeah. That was just, sometimes you find your place, and that's what he liked. He liked doing that and working with his colleagues, and, the to and fro and the negotiation and the policy aspects. He liked all of that. So vice president wasn't his best, he wasn't going to turn it down, but it sounded like he didn't gravitate toward it. He wasn't there just to get more and more power all the time. He found where he wanted to be, and he liked it. But I'm only 20 pages in, so I don't know. But it is interesting because, he's really I think he might be the first president I remember. Nixon was president when I was born, right?
Yeah.
But I don't really have a lot of memories. But I do remember Ford being on TV and stuff. And so I was just, I have this project to read a biography of each president in order. And now I'm to Ford. And I realized that in the next few years, I'll catch up, which is amazing because, when I was in the doldrums of the 19th century discount presidents that everybody knows was a president, but nobody knows anything about them. I was like, this is never ending. And now all of a sudden I'm almost there. And what it means then is pretty soon I'll get to the biographies of presidents who are still alive, which means they will be incomplete biographies. So I don't know. Should I wait until they die to read their biographies? Or no, I won't do that. But it's kind of an interesting thing to get to biographies of people that I remember, right? Yeah. And as I get along further, the Bushes and like Clinton and Obama, I will remember, having a lot of opinions and feelings about the things that they were doing, right? Reagan, et cetera. And that that'll make reading their biographies a different experience for me because, you know, I've been a very passive reader of these because I wasn't alive. I didn't know, right? And I mean, I have my own opinions.
You didn't have a dog in the race.
No, I have my own opinions about their, you know, positions, et cetera, and things, especially Nixon, obviously. But I don't remember how I was feeling about those things as they happened, right? So it'll be a different experience. So anyway, I enjoy this book so far, and I look forward to getting further on. So
I say we say cheers because this is our episode that's going to come between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, so we're day drinking. We're day drinking here at headquarters.
Yep.
Cheers.
I'm day drinking non-alcoholic beer.
That's right. And I'm having some sparkling rosé, and we'd like to say cheers to all of our listeners and viewers. We really appreciate it. We love it when you comment or share or give us a review, anything like that. It means a great deal to us. We're just two independently published writers sitting in our kitchen lounge broadcasting to all of you because we just really love books, and it's a delight to share that love with you. So we hope you have a wonderful new year, and it's full.
You got a pile of great books to read for Christmas.
That's right. And we wish you well and
a happy holiday season.
Happy holidays. Cheers. And we'll see you next week.